Readings 13th of September, Black Friday, 2024, part 2, because my feckin' iPhone ran out of storage. I was just saying it's like kick-starting a defunct motorbike and then blip, you know, talking about getting men to be real men again and full of joie de vivre and divine masculinity and being playful with the Tanya without causing any damage to the Tanya, which is the crucial ingredient here. So there is that. But anyway, moving on, I'll carry on with our readings because I don't have a lot of time left. It's now 7:37 and I've got to go and put on the makeup soon and get ready for my dance, am I right? So anyway, those flowers I showed you a picture of in the other video, I'll just repeat it again so you can keep up with what I'm raving on about. It's hard to keep up with me sometimes when I go into my little rants, my little magical segues, my little flowering of verbiage, my blossoming, my astonishing, magical, poetic, noetic, gnosis, well, you know what I mean. Here I write, made these yesterday as gifts for my friends. Then today I attended the Exeter Medici and Michael Zavros exhibitions at Goma. Excuse me. Synchronicity was at play as there were similar flowers in the artworks. Just stunning, which is kind of delightful because the same thing happened with me matching my dress with some of the artworks today. It's quite wonderful. 13th of September 2022. I just had the most gorgeous thing happen. Remember when I wrote this morning about it being a beautiful day? Well, I just received a call and I received the most unexpected gift. A lovely woman I met while we were getting our hair done found my zany, exuberant stories about the gods, etc., and my general mishigas, that means insanity, so delightful that she insisted on paying for my hairdressing today. That was very, very generous and kind. Very generous indeed. Because my hairdressing usually costs around about $170. That was a very expensive, gift from a virtual stranger. So to you, Irene, thank you so much. To this day, I really, really was astonished and grateful for that. Here I write, this is just so unexpected and so very kind. I am just thrilled to bits. Yes, even now, 2 years later, I'm still grateful and thrilled by that lovely surprise. There's just such wonderful, magical people out the world who are just so generous to me. And it's always so amazing, when that happens. I'm like, wow, what did I do to deserve that? Just be my crazy old self, and yet some people love me for that. So I'm grateful to you all. I'm grateful to my subscribers that watch my crazy videos. Some of them can be a bit bordering on, skating on thin ice, quite frankly, but you kind of forgive me because you kind of get it and love me anyway, and I'm grateful for that too. I am. I'm very grateful. Anyway, thank you to Kylie and Irene for your wonderful kindness and generosity to me. Yes, thank you both. I am so grateful for my beautiful friends and benefactors who bless me along my life's journey. Kylie always makes me look beautiful and supports me when I need to do some creative financial juggling. Then her client wanted to gift me also. Just wow. I told Kylie I had considered ringing her earlier this evening to apologise for my mad rambling, but she said, no, Irene had found it all so delightful that she insisted on paying for my hairdo. Isn't that gorgeous? Me raving mad and people pay for me. It's just so kind. It really is. Goddess bless my superb superwomen and my goddesses who look after me in the most magical ways. Yes, you do, my wonderful ones. And some of my men friends too look after me too. I don't have a loving partner, but by the gods, I have people on my team that buoy me up and, look after me in the most magical and astonishing and wonderful ways. And they come from all paths of light and dark and everywhere in between, from all professions. Some are very high status, some are very low status. But, my earth angels come to me in all forms, and I'm always grateful, and I never question. I just graciously accept and thank all the gods, God in all manifestations. And together we create the most wonderful vibe and mosaic and tribe. Find your vibe, find your tribe, am I right? I love you all. I love you all. Here I write, I love you all, and my beautiful male friends who also cherish and nurture me along my way, capital W-A-Y. I have had a very unusual, mystical, magical life, so I'm sometimes equally astonished at, the love that's shown to me and the gifts and the sweetnesses and the kindnesses and the music, the art, the literature and the muse and the generosity. And maybe even one day I'll find a partner of my own who can be romantic and passionate with me and available to me. Oh, that would be the highest magic of all those. So let's not get too greedy, people of Earth. I'm used to living my life alone and it's all I know. So the thought of anything other than that kind of scares me in a way. It's why it's sabotage. But I think you've worked that out, those of you who are intelligent enough to know. So, let's just hold each other precious and have each other's backs and love each other the best way we possibly can given our individual circumstances. I'm grateful for that. I am very grateful. Here I continue writing back in 2022. Irene is about to travel to Greece, although her family came from Cyprus. So I asked her to put in a prayer for me at the Oracle of Delphi. As gods know, I need all the blessings I can get, and I'm not fussy where those blessings come from. All manifestations of holiness bless me, and I'm grateful. I am deeply grateful, often deeply fucking humbled at times too, to the point that I'm almost brought to my knees and burst into tears. Have you ever seen me burst into tears randomly? It's because something enormously powerful has happened for me and I can't wrap my head around it, so I'll sometimes just cry instead. It's an emotional response to a powerful mystical experience sometimes. I don't cry easily. Well, I didn't used to. I've been a bit more easily to make cry in the last 12 months or so since I had COVID, but before that it was very hard to get me to cry because I cried oceans as a young woman. I cried rivers. I cried entire new freaking solar systems into existence. Not literally, you understand me, but the emotional equivalent of it anyway. Anyway, I repeat, I need all the blessings I can get. Even now, there's a lot of things that I still need my life to improve on, which you hear me whining about regularly. Anyway, I was quite in earnest, but also being a bit silly when I was raving on about all the Greek gods. So this was her gift to me, literally a gift from a Cypriot woman who told me that Aphrodite came out of the sea in that big amazing shell. Aphrodite, the daughter of Zeus, I think she was. Who was her mother? Who was Aphrodite's mother? Was Hera her mother? Anyway, she was the goddess of love and beauty. She came out of the sea. Actually, the place where she came out of the sea wasn't in Greece, but in Cyprus. I never knew that. I did not know that. And the particular beach where that manifestation is, according to the myth, that lady, Irene, had been to that beach or played on it as a child. So the message was I was being gifted from her gods to my hobbit ass, to my God, and perfect closed circuit, kismet, perfect perfection, and it was just a beautiful thing, my darlings, a beautiful thing. Here I write, thanks Kylie, because I always put a photo up when she does my hair to show appreciation and value her artistry. Because when you're a very good hairdresser, it is a form of art and creativity. It's when I used to have my woman Darla on the front door, but men were scared of a pregnant woman. Isn't that ridiculous? Scared of a representation of a pregnant woman. This is how anti-humanist our planet has become. They even fear pregnancy. Sick, isn't it? Evil is what it really is. But anyway, here's the rest of the do. I look quite lovely that day. I still look quite lovely. I just did my hair not long ago. It's still holding up. Still holding up. Sometimes even Mama T, I'm no beauty queen, but sometimes I scrub up okay. I'll look good tonight when I put all my full makeup on, and I'm almost tempted to go out without makeup, like I went out today to the art gallery. But no, my Brooklyn standard must never see me without makeup. They'll freak out. They won't recognise me. No, we must maintain our little bit of glamour for as long as I've got a little bit of glamour left in the old bottom, all right? Oh, dear goddess. Well, who cares, really? Maybe I won't bother. But I look old and has been. But I am old and has been. What shall I do, people of Earth? Should I put on makeup? Or should I go just a bit of lippy like I have now? But the nose is all stripped bare from the CPAP mask. Fuck, I hate my life sometimes. I do. I was so happy in video 1 and now I've fallen flat. Have you noticed that? We'll have to boost that up. Boost that up. She's got to boost herself up. Not with any boosters, just saying. She's got a chest out, shoulders back. I'm going out into the fray for the wild dance, my babies. So anyway, it's a gloriously beautiful morning. After my little nocturnal rant, I did indeed harvest a few hours of sleep. Thank the gods for that. It's a warm spring morning. I'm sitting outside with Charlie and Beauregard. Oh, my beautiful boy. Oh, dear goddess. We are all content, smiley face. Not a cloud in the bluest of blue skies. Today is going to be a good day. There is a high vibration and almost audible tone. I pay attention when that happens. It's probably radiation sickness from the fucking tower, which is right behind my house. Yes, but I do sit up and take notice when I can hear this high pitch in my ear, like, ooh. If you listen carefully, you can kind of hear it now. It freaks me out sometimes. So the spirits are busy doing what they do best, while we mortals carry on with our incarnated manifestations. I'm surrounded by love and generosity and sweetness. Indeed, yesterday I had another visit from the kookaburra, who sat above my head in the African tulip tree and watched me with great interest, just like I was being watched by a lizard at the coffee shop today at the Queensland Art Gallery. It was kind of kismet and astonishing, but he was a very nice lizard and I was a very nice hobbit. We just sat staring at each other for quite some time, rather sanguinely and peacefully, and I thought, I like you, lizard. And he thought, I like you, human. We just sat in perfect company. It's lovely. It's lovely when that happens. Me bonding with reptiles. It's a bit weird, but it's also lovely. Life is good. Holding on to precious moments like the jewels in a dragon's hoard as they shimmer and fade as much as they sparkle and are noble indeed. 2:40 a.m, unable to sleep. I've been lying here for several hours. My brain refuses to shut down. My legs are aching, especially the shins, where I fell over the side table out in the garden about a week ago. The bruising aches, nuts. Then my skin cancer scars are itching. I hate that when that happens. I'm getting my hair done tomorrow, so I need to sleep or I will drive my friend and hairdresser mad with my almost manic ramblings that occur when I'm sleepless, excited, or overstimulated. Robin got to see that this afternoon when I just went on my mad little mental sprees. You got to see some of it still in video 1, didn't you? And yet I'm publishing it for the public to see because I'm not ashamed, done nothing wrong, just be my own unique self. I've been drinking mullein tea since it arrived on Saturday to attempt to cure my lung problems once and for all, so perhaps that has caused the insomnia as well. Should knock me down actually, should make me tired and drowsy. But it's worth a try as I've been suffering with chronic bronchitis for decades now and I can't go on like this. Especially the past few months when I spiraled under and really thought I might die. But no, instead I soldiered on and even managed to make more jewellery and go to my first market on Sunday. So I know I can heal my mind, body and spirit and still have so much potential stored deep inside me. I know I can do anything if only I can overcome my current financial distress brought on by increased food prices and the unexpected extra expenses. I will keep working towards my goals, a safe, happy, successful life with a loving partner one day. I have to roll my eyes. Can you watch me roll my eyes? Let's roll my eyes. Did they fall back on my... Did you see the whites of my eyes yet? Let's do that again. Let's do an instant replay. It's not working, is it? You can't fake it till you make it. It has to be authentic. Tanya, you're going to have a loving partner one day who's going to genuinely love you. Oh, but Jesus, there we go. That was authentic. We made it. We made it. We're back in the room. And learning new skills which create a more prosperous life, except for all the fuck-ups, but it still looks pretty though, than the one I have barely survived for the past 57 years. Or bust. I don't want to go bust ever again. I've been bust. That wasn't pretty either. I think the path I am on, I should put, I pray the path I am on, but I wrote, I think the path I am on is finally opening up new vistas of positivity and kindness and support, new growth, new learnings, and an entirely new life. Oh, sweet Tanya, you're so sweet in your delusions. Goddess love you. But sometimes I think too much and hope too hard and get segued by events not under my control. So I have to go within and rebirth new paradigms, one breath at a time. I did a trance strumming yesterday. Oh, bejesus. I have to roll my eyes at that too. Wait a minute. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, trance strumming. It's actually my own subconscious feeding me on a load of fairy stories and bullshit. I know that. You should see the notes I've kept from trance strummings, and I read through them and I laugh and I cry at my own stupid, sorry, sad self. I do. But every now and then there's little things that I could not possibly have known consciously that just blow my head back. Like that man showing up in my mug, right, in video 1, and then appearing in real life only 16 days later. I never saw that young man again at the Brooklyn Standard. Maybe he was just there only once, maybe he wasn't a regular, but that too was a bit odd after that intense emotional dance we had together, which he said himself was intense. Never saw him again. So, and yet he had been presciently predicted in my mug, not a trance strumming, but a cup of, tea leaves that exploded out of a bag. So the moral of that story is, if your angels or your guardian angel or your guides or your higher mind or your Jungian connection or your spirits or God or someone else want to give you a message, they'll find a way. They'll get to you and give you that message, but will you be consciously aware of it at the time? Meh. Depends on how far along the path you are and whether you're a believer or not, or whether you choose to just tune it out. But the messages come thick and fast by the gods. And it's delightful when they actually come true, so you know you're not going crazy, by the way. There were years when I used to think I was crazy and was quite astonished and gratified to find out that I wasn't. I was just psychic. It's a fine line between pleasure and pain. If you do it once, you'll do it again. It's a fine line between pleasure and pain. Anyway, it's probably not the right song in that context, but I'm glad I'm not crazy, even though people think I am. That's on them. I don't care. Think what you want to think. Do what you want to do. Be who you want to be. Side by side, we can march together through life's vicissitudes, or we can just nod politely and wave each other goodbye. Spirit still says there are recalibrations. I'm not sure if they mean within my own psyche or externally in our COVID epoch with our newly deceased queen, maniacs driving around and stabbing people, example yesterday at Carindale, and other zombie apocalypse atrocities. Oh, Bobo is having a nightmare too. I can hear him whimpering in his sleep, my beautiful boy. The moon is still very bright. Perhaps that is influencing my insomnia also. I feel like I'm having tequila shots tonight. Should I go in by bus and have tequila shots and get drunk? Why am I craving to get drunk? I've been on about that all week. What would happen if I got drunk and completely lost control for once? What would happen to me? Nothing, but I'd lose all the respect I've so carefully curated and gathered together. So no, I won't do that. I won't do that. Maybe I'll stay home and get drunk. Then I don't have to go out at all and I can just be here all alone, drunk. No, I won't do that. I need my dance. I need my dance. I actually spiraled under during the week because I missed out on my dance. I was not happy about that at all. Anyway, here we go. At any rate, every little thing is going to be all right. I have decided. I've ridden through worse epochs and storms. Life is beautiful. The birds and even a dancing, buzzing bee reminded me of that this past week. Well, now I've written down my weird and wonderful woes and aspirations. Perhaps my brain will relax into somnolence and let me rest. Lila Tov, good night from us at Sacred Space. Oh, bless. 13th of September 2020, 12:28 a.m. Thanks for the memories. Time to enter the astral for some interfacing with my angels. Lots of work to do. Psychedelic dreaming and stitching up of my ever seamless life. Today I got up with a sudden desire to drive to West End and have a walk around the shops. That was also out of left field. That was in 2020. I dressed up very elegantly in a long-sleeved white blouse with frills down the front, my gold pencil skirt, my new pale pink mules, my black underbust corset, my purple top hat. I wore my pearls and my carnelian Merkaba earrings and my asymmetrical black cardigan. I brought Beauregard with me. No, this is funny, people of Earth. No sooner we arrived, me filled with a churning anxiety as I've lost confidence in going out by myself, we started walking down Thomas Street. Across the road from a coffee shop, the Beau decided to stop and do a poo, which meant I had to put both bags down and squat down in my elegant but alternative clothing to pick up the poo. Awkward, embarrassing, but normal process for the Tanya, the warrior goddess, and her worthy dog god. So I stand back up, shuck my shoulders back, quietly observing a few male customers opposite me, trying not to laugh at the vision of the earthy, organised hell that we represented. They had probably checked out my ass too. Blech. So I point my dogged, doggone nose to the air and drag my bow down to Vulture Street, looking for a bin to put the poo bag in. I had to cross the street and lob it in the nearest council bin. We carried on walking down as far as Three Monkeys, then back up to Browning Street. Nowhere to grab a coffee with a dog in tow. Oh well, I wondered what I was thinking taking Bobo for a walk there anyway. One woman watched us walking up the street and commented that my dog was enjoying his walk. Indeed. We stopped and sat on a park bench so I could give Beauregard his water to drink. I suddenly felt deeply uncomfortable. Why am I here? Why? No answer to that. We carried on walking back to the intersection. We had to wait for the light to cross. A thought came to my mind. You have been seen. I thought, oh well, whatever. We crossed with the light, and two young women dressed all alternative with dreadlocks were walking towards me. One of them said to me, "You are dressed so beautifully." I was quite surprised. So I replied back, "Oh, thank you. That is very kind of you." Beauregard and I made it across the intersection. By now, my fairly new shoes were hurting my feet. Queen of inappropriate footwear, remember? I'm infamous for that. Stomping around in very, very painful shoes. Looking as glamorous as I possibly can while simultaneously crippling myself. Oh! We got to the car and drove home, tired but content. I'm so accustomed to being barefoot at home all the time that actual shoes hurt me. They dug into my toenails, pinched all the joints on my feet. Going the last stretch of the road towards my car, I had an urge to just bloody well take them off and run like a wild woman, barefooted with my top hat and crazy pooping dog star. But I restrained myself and hobbled haphazardly until I reached my car. Phew. I looked back down the street before climbing into the driver's seat to observe the same two young women who had complimented me so generously were also walking back to their car. I had to smile to myself. It was odd, as we had passed going opposite directions. They must have followed me back, lol. They smiled too. I got in my car and headed for home like a fucking homing pigeon. My little internal GPS beacon that beckoned me to West End, not quite satiated. My psychiatrist told me in our last session that I'm quite resonant with the universe and not at all crazy. I must keep the faith. Oh, bless. One of the few mortal men that actually comprehends me, my mind, my emotions, my walk on planet Earth, my personality, even though I do have a personality disorder, from complex PTSD. But apart from that, the one man who gets me completely, and he's not available, people of Earth, because he's my doctor. He's a wonderful friend and ally, and, by the way, doctor. Yes, I have many men in my life who are wonderful to me, life-affirming, life-enhancing, kind and noble and respectful, but they're not available to be my partner. Oh, all together now. Oh, smallest violin. I'm going dancing tonight. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm going dancing tonight. Big boys. But a happy dance. A dance of joy and delight to you all, my darlings. Here I continue writing. Back in 2020. I do feel rather shaken and stirred after the little haunting on Thursday and these weird little practice missions sent to various parts of the city, which I actually thought was kind of unusual even back then. I have no idea what that was all about even, but yes, we had a nice, albeit brief, walk. Men got to check out my ass while I was picking up the residue of Beauregard's ass, and everyone was happy, am I right? Maybe that's the only reason I was there. Who knows? Who knows what the intentions of the angels had for me there? Maybe I was meant to meet the one, but Beauregard had to rain on my parade by shitting in the middle of the street. Oh, but he used to do that. He once shat when I took him to Byron Bay, going up, can't remember the name, I think it's Lawson Street, named after Henry Lawson. he decided to plonk his hairy little ass down right in front of the entranceway to a coffee shop. I could have died. I was so feckin' embarrassed. But, you know, Beauregard didn't care. He's not bothered. It's just, if you're going to shit, you just shit. He didn't know. He has no couth. He doesn't understand. It's the entrance to a lovely little coffee shop. He did not give a fuck, that dog. Sometimes one has to acquire the art of not giving a fuck. But if I start shitting in the front entrances of coffee shops, they'll put me in a dementia ward, am I right? So we won't be doing that, just saying. Also, I'm very, very fussy about where I shit. I've got a thing about shit. Have you noticed? It's one of my trauma issues. Gifted to me by my half-sister, actually. But anyway, that's a whole other story. It's not pretty, it's ugly, and it's upsetting, so we won't go there with that. Carry on being happy. 13th of September 2019. I was feeling much better emotionally yesterday. Jared arrived as I was frantically mopping the floors, but he was amused to find me in full hypomanic, emotional, ebullient, vivacious flight. Pretty much how I feel today, actually, babies. I'm going to have to take a lover soon if this keeps going. It's not normal to feel this good and have no one to share that with. You all got wound up, didn't you? Calm your farm, calm your farm. Mama T's waiting for the one. The one. Anyway, I could be waiting for the rest of my life. Dear Goddess. We had a lovely morning and afternoon fossicking at Reverse Garbage through all their art cards, which I collected for my decoupage. Jared teased me as he said I was supposed to be decluttering my art card collection, not bringing more home, which he did have a valid point there. It's what I do. But I laughed and said, it's for art, and I got a whole bundle for $2. So I was delighted. I think I need a drink of water, people of Earth. Then we had a delicious lunch. Kind of hungry, actually. I need to, I might put on my makeup. I might go out a little bit earlier than I normally do and go and have a meal somewhere. Yes, that might be a good idea. Then we had a delicious lunch. I was ravenously hungry, so thoroughly enjoyed every mouthful. I had not realised how hungry I was. I was just shoving food into my mouth with the glee of a young child who has rediscovered her life force. Oh, that's a wonderful feeling. When you rediscover your life force after decades of being a zombie. Some of you have got no idea what I'm talking about. Aren't you the lucky ones? Just saying. I was very primal and somehow sumptuously, sublimely satiated. My emotions settled right down after that. Why? I almost purred. We're talking about food, not sex here, people of Earth, by the gods. Then we walked around Montague Street, but the culture has changed there. Not any funky artsy shops, only businesses in the rag trade that have stuffy elitist signs about not selling to the public. We stopped at an op shop, but they were asking for huge sums of money for their wares. So we came home feeling a tad disappointed, but happy about our lunch and outing. We took Bobo for a quick walk around the block, then spent the rest of the evening watching weird movies on SBS, which is our favourite thing to do, which was surreal but enjoyable. I was glad to be feeling joyous again. I've been on a roller coaster ride with my emotions for the past few weeks. So here we go. It's Friday today. Oh, bless. I have my debrief with my psychiatrist this arvo, then ecstatic dance if I feel well enough. I am moving through life incrementally, as I had a fair bit of pain last night under my right rib cage. No idea what that is about. My liver pain is usually lower down. Anyway, today is going to be great. I will move through it with gratitude. Then I wrote 11:01 a.m. winky face, because 111 is angel messages. I didn't present a message though, just a wink. That was the message. I handed it on. There's 2 winks to you. Anyway, Mama T. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know what is right with me. Here I posted a meme. It's of the Mayan calendar. Maybe this is what the Mayans predicted. Not an asteroid or a solar flare, but the end of what we are. We no longer cherish life or other people, even the earth or the animals and resources put on it. That lizard and I were cherishing each other today, though. We really were. We were in full communion. I still cherish Earth. I fought hard for my body autonomy, so I could continuously cherish my Earth in the way it should be cherished, how I remember it should be as a mere mortal. Just saying, by the gods. War, genocide, abuse, senseless mass murder, animal cruelty, gluttony, greed, waste and lust. Look around you. The end of the world is already here. It's maybe why I commune better with lizards than with people now. Now that post was shared by my friend Jan Attridge on the 13th of September 2019. Very prescient, wasn't it, given the ensuing epoch only 5 months later. Anyway, here I write, yes, but we each can contribute in our own small and unique ways to repair our world, which in Judaism is called tikkun olam. That is, doing good deeds and kind things for other humans and or animals or our planet to repair our world. It's incumbent on all of us to do what we can, no matter what our level of skill set is or how much money we have. Choose to be kind and repair our world. Like I blinged up these earrings a little bit more. That I didn't really need more blinging, but I wanted to match. Matchmaker, matchmaker, make me a match. Find me a fine, catch me a catch. Oh, sorry, it's a different kind of match, but anyway, don't ever matchmake me, by the way. I'll go insane. It's been done to me, to my own destruction too many times. A man must choose me by his own heart, soul, spirit and intentions and emotions, not be manipulated by third parties, just saying. Floors mopped, big achievement, woot. Charlie is outside in his outside cage, swinging on a swing he refused to use until I took the broken perch out. Now he is perching and singing and swinging quite happily, a weird little bird. Like his human mother, he does not readily accept change, laughing my ass off. And I had to accept change when I found out he was a she when she laid her first egg on the 28th of December 2020, which came as quite a shock, by the way. Even my bird's transgender. Not really. I just didn't know she was a girl. What's new, pussycat? Nothing. What are you looking at, cool cat? Don't be cruel, cat. Yawns. I ate your little dog. Run screaming. Fade to black. Voiceover. Honey, I don't think we are in Kansas anymore. Mutter from behind the curtain. Can you stop mixing your metaphors and your fucking musicals? Don't drop the fiddle off dat roop, mofo. Dat roof, mofo. The answer comes back. Don't give up your day job. And that is how the fight started. I know, this is how my mind works sometimes. 11:11 p.m. Home from a fantastic night at Ecstatic Dance. I had a blast. Pity that got infiltrated by Luciferians and went really ugly and toxic, because there was no need for that. I didn't do anything wrong. I would have quite happily danced alongside the Luciferians for as long as they would indulge me being, a being of love, light and truth and harmonic resonance. We could have coexisted, coexist with harm to none, competition from none. Magic happens, babies. No, they had to get ugly and elitist. Well, fuck them. Anyway, having said that, they'll probably all start sending their nasty little infiltrating viciousness out again. I'll be like, well, fuck off. Mama T just keeps moving on. It's a cosmic law. Never fuck with a Tanya, but if you must fuck with a Tanya, the Tanya will move on. Don't get to enjoy my vivacious personality in my dance anymore. And because those types that are mired in their own cesspit, they don't even care, do they? But I care. Very careful where I give my energy now. I've been burned too many times, literally and figuratively speaking. Languishing in my hot Epsom salt and milk bath after dancing myself into another universe this evening. See what I mean? I danced myself into another universe. Do you know what that translates to in ordinary English? I fucking left my body and I was in other dimensions and had to whistle myself back down. My hair is sweaty too, oh my, but I came home to my dog and did not continue my wildness at the casino, as I don't like him being locked in the house too long. He refused to pee for ages. It's fireworks. When I got home, but eventually let that flow go, hallelujah, and is now happily munching on his bone. He was supposed to chew on that while I was out, but no, he waits to celebrate dogginess after I get home. Anyway, I have no idea what band I'm missing out on, as the Treasury Casino forgot to update their calendar, even after I sent them a polite email to ask them to. So guess what? The place won't fall apart if I miss one night, laughing my ass off. I am happy, tired but happy. My side is sore but still happy. I get to see my daughter for a brief while tomorrow, so I'm even happy about that. I'm donating lots of old towels and blankets for her to take to work to give to wildlife carers, as they are in desperate need after the recent bushfires. So I'm happy to help the animals and simultaneously declutter my laundry as well. Yes, indeed. My doctor says I have a high intellect and a funny, dark, tumescent humour, that when I lose my temper, I am contained, even as I flare up like a bushfire, that my face and body go very rigid, yes they do, but my eyes change colour and flash wildly. I laughed. I said it must be very terrifying to the uninitiated. He replied, and men like Dave, I laughed. My worthy psychiatrist and our conjoined Jungian connection. I adore that man. Yes, I do. I do indeed. I adored my psychiatrist before him too. But the first psychiatrist I saw, I did not adore at all. Boundary violator he was. Evil man. But anyway, you get that. He reminded me, my current psychiatrist, that I have courted death for years. Courted it. It's danced with me since infancy, babies. I reminded him that death keeps licking my eyeball and spitting me back into this life. Why, I almost feel rejected. It's pretty sad when even death rejects you, people of Earth. But I'm getting older, wilder, more vulnerable, and at times lonelier. So I will be less seductive with Lady Death, or rather, she has me on a long, long leash, as I am still in pain after that surgery. So I just have a reprieve until I'm offered more salubrious outcomes. So I am nurturing and enjoying each day allotted to me now, like sucking on an everlasting gobstopper. You know those big round ball lollies that you sucked and sucked? They take sometimes a day to get through all the layers, and then usually inside they'd have like some kind of chewing gum. But that was your reward after sucking and sucking this gigantic ball that used to take up my whole cheek. Do you remember those? My generation people? We had those when we were kids. Just keep sucking on life, people. Just taste it. Don't waste it. It's yours and it's precious. Just saying. Or, as I described to my doctor, being a ball bearing skirting around the circular edges of my own berserker life, trying not to fall down the rabbit hole. Again, by the gods, I've done that a lot in my life too. Whew. I have fallen down so many that I'm quite content on the flip side. Hell, I even have my own hat. I am late for my own funeral, and let's face it, I am still waiting for my love life to blossom and to play grown-ups again. Perpetual childhood of a trauma survivor. Or eternal sunshine in the summerlands of the berserker fairy queen. Not quite spotless mind, but freckled and facile and fecund. Well, maybe not so fecund anymore since I don't sport a uterus and I'm well past menopause, but wow, it is what it is, babies. Actually, I don't think I'm well past menopause either. I still get the occasional hot flushes. Ait Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom Kulam, that means Sabbath peace, everyone. Mama T and her great, great spirits are going dancing. Soon we will battle the traffic, oh dear goddess. He also told me the constant pain above the drain site or in my liver could be fibroids in the surrounding tissue from the surgery, which is why I get referred pain in my neck and down my right upper arm. It feels like someone is dragging their finger down my arm from my shoulder in a forceful way. He is worried there is still something majorly wrong internally. Indeed. 5 years later, I still get pain in my liver occasionally. It's not good. That's why I cut back on any alcohol consumption. I was drinking 4 Jack Daniels on a Friday night and I cut back to 2 or 3. So, you know, you got to buy some drinks because you're out dancing, am I right? But I've got to be careful. I've got to protect my liver. I really do. Would not be nice. I've already got an enlarged liver from bad diet. It would not be nice if that turned to cirrhosis, just saying. It's a very excruciatingly ugly and painful death. I'm very fussy about how I die. I'm so pissed off that after 21 years of not having treatment for sleep apnea, I didn't die in my sleep. I am kind of pissed off about that in a way. It was part of the plan. I thought I'll just quietly snuff myself out in my sleep. But I don't want any motherfucking filthy men raping me or strangling me ever again either. That's not how I end. Don't try that with me ever again, boys. But anyway, I wanted, it's very dark and morose, but I wanted a quiet, peaceful death. And I have it's not under my control. No one knows what their fate really is going to be. I was sitting on the bus coming home from the art gallery, from Goma and the Queensland Art Gallery, on the 180 coming home to my home. And I was sitting behind a man, probably about mid to late 60s. He kept trying to look at me. He was weird. And he freaked me out a bit, actually, because he moved his arm to get as close to me as possible, sitting behind him. I sat behind him deliberately so that I could have kind of the upper hand in a way. Anyway, he freaked me out because he then pulled out a pocket knife. And I thought, fuck, is this lunatic going to stab me or follow me home and stab me? Because I've had someone, my busker friend, said that I'm going to get stabbed. So I thought, oh my God, here's someone with a fucking pocket knife pulling out of their bag on the bus, and he's giving me these weird kind of sidelong looks. I thought, you motherfucker, you. And I started to get triggered. I considered getting off the bus. That's how triggered I was getting. Anyway, I thought, oh, just be calm, Tanya. There's no harm in having a little pocket knife, like, really per se, there's no harm in it. So he opens it up slowly and I stop breathing for a few minutes. Is he pulling out, going to pull a knife and stab? Because he's right in front of me. It'd be easy for him to open the knife and just stab me in the eye or something, am I right? So I'm sitting there kind of shitting myself, to be honest. So I just thought, I'll just be calm. It's probably an innocent thing. He probably hasn't even thought about how weird that it might look. So he pulls out this kind of what looked like the bottle opening part of the pocket knife that you had the little hook, that you would open bottles off a beer bottle. And I thought to myself, what the fuck are you doing? Anyway, he proceeds to clean the dirt from under his nail, with this bottle opening part of the pen knife. I thought, I think I need to get off this bus. But then I thought, is there any harm in cleaning your fingernail on a bus, really? It's weird, but it's not exactly a threat. Don't be neurotic, Tanya Aarons. Don't be fucking neurotic. So anyway, then he puts the knife away, and I could see into his bag. When he opened his bag, he had like 3 or 4 packets of Strepsils, and then another like throat lozenge. So he pulls out a throat lozenge and he puts it in his mouth. I'm like, why do you need that many Strepsils? Like, it was just odd. It was a bit fucking mental. Anyway, I got off that bus at my stop and I thought, I hope he doesn't follow me off the bus, because there was something not quite right about that man. It really wasn't. Not so much the pocket knife, but the weirdness with all the Strepsils too. And then I thought, oh, he's probably sick. He's probably going to snot all over me. But he wasn't sick. That's what made me think, why do you need all those Strepsils? Obviously he has difficulties having a sore throat, am I right? Anyway, it was odd. It was very odd. It was glad to get off the bus and get home safely. Anyway, my doctor had said he's worried there's still something wrong internally this is after my gallbladder operation, right? I'm still struggling with fatigue and a labile mood. Labile means it goes up and down, like a roller coaster. So I decided to not overdo things by going dancing at the casino after ecstatic dance, as I used to do. I need to look after my body and not be selfish to my dog god. I had a wonderful time at ecstatic dance tonight, but came home afterwards as I had a fair bit of pain. No regrets. I got into my zone and it was quite wonderful. I played mischievously with my tribe of ecstatic dancers. I love them all. I did love them all. That's why I was so upset when it turned rancid. So I didn't do anything wrong, people of Earth. I swear to all the gods. I can bring the Torah out and swear on the Torah. I didn't do anything. I wasn't nasty to anyone. I wasn't rude to anyone. I paid my way. I mean, I got a little bit of a discount because I'm a pensioner, but I always paid my way. Like, what the fuck happened, actually? To this day, I don't know. I got told that it got infiltrated by Luciferians, but to this day, is that even true? I don't know. I mean, there were a few weirdos that kept staring at me, and I felt like they were directing negative energy, and I got more and more depleted each time I danced, and I got sicker and sicker, but, you know, I was just had my fucking gallbladder out, so there was that too. I don't know. I don't know how much of that was spiritual or black magic or Luciferian or just weirdness. I don't know what that was about, my darlings. 13th of September 2018. Ah, there's a lovely photo of a friendly little face we all love. The Charlie. It's a wonderful photo of her, actually. You can just see she's sitting on my tummy. Lying here in the shade, but then look who came to visit me. Climbed down from his cage and walked over and climbed on top of me. Truly loves his, or rather her, Mama T. Oh, she's an intrepid little bird. I didn't spend much time with her today. She's a bit pissed off with me. I'll have to make it up with her tomorrow. FML, which is an abbreviation for fuck my life. I get out of bed feeling fine, then step outside after my morning ablutions, take one breath of the warm spring air and immediately go into a huge asthmatic coughing fit. So I've had to stumble inside to locate my Ventolin inhaler and try to quell the incessant cough, tears running down my face from the strain. I am so sick of being constantly sick with one thing after another. It is endless, constant, chronic bullshit suffering. On a bright note, it's a lovely day outside. I'm going to just stay calm and nurture myself until this episode passes. My psychiatrist noticed I was quiet and flat and withdrawn yesterday. So I told him about my Facebook wars dealing with vicious, atrophied, white supremacists and other bigoted types, which genuinely exhausts me, but I will not remain silent in the face of abuse, ever. So Mama T is going to keep herself pristine and quiet today. Warrior goddess women need to heal after dealing with fucking ignoble idiots and their enablers. Much love from Sacred Space. Here I shared a meme. I have a happy personality with a heavy soul. Sometimes it gets weird. Yes, it does, people of Earth. It gets very weird indeed. And I shared a shamanic community group or something. And I wrote, Native American wisdom. My Maduan, whom I met on Paltalk, asked his medicine man for how best to advise me about my woeful love life. Nothing much changes in my world, but this was circa 2013. Tame her. She is a wild Mustang Quay, came back the reply. This is from a bona fide medicine man of the Ojibwa tribe, which is a high honour to even be communicating with such a personage, am I right? I was furious. I said, you mean like the taming of the shrew? But my native friend knew nothing of Shakespeare, so I begged instead that he light up the one who I am meant to be with, and so that I light up in his presence, so I will know too. And so it came to pass. I was attracted to a man who came to me in a golden light, and I burned bright and strong for him. Yes, I did, baby girl. Poor Tanya. Poor Tanya. You poor bitch. I love you so much, and you deserved way better. But alas, he turned away to light up other women's epiglottai. So it was a long, unholy grief. Yes, it was. Hack, spit, I still grieve. This was back in 2018. But the gods will not permit me a partner, that I know now. And the medicine man, well, tame me not. I shall be wild and free until I die. So mote it be. I can be wild and free, but with a loving partner as well, can't I? Happens for other wild women. Why not me? One has to ask these salient questions from time to time, just out of academic interest, you understand. Oh, smallest violin. Delete, 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 and the dybbuk falls off the roof. Trigger warning, child sexual abuse. Time for a cup of tea if you have a fragile mind space, darlings. If you have a fragile mind space, you should never watch my videos ever, 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 because there's a lot of good in amongst the ugliness, but sometimes there's more ugly than good, and it's a mixed bag on any given day, am I right? Jesus. Not really Jesus, but you know what I mean. Anyway, while those of you of fragile headspaces are having a cup of tea and muttering into their beards and bemoaning the fact that they don't know why they watch my videos or why they're even friends with me or why they're subscribed, the rest of you can just carry on, come along with me for the ride, babies. Feeling quite triggered after posting several albums of my former dead de facto stepfather's photos on his memorial page that, like a gimp, I set up in case any of his remaining living relatives might want them. Case has been dead for almost 23 years this coming November. By the gods. Frankly, I just feel like burning all the photos, which I did eventually do. Especially ones from the time period when he was newly in love with my mother, but sexually harassing and attempting to molest me. The bastard. God, I hated him so much. Hard to imagine I ended up being present with him for his death and defending him when my mad asshole mother was humiliating him about the dancing girls and taking ownership of his car as he was slowly death rattling. I told you my mother likes to kick people when they're down. Did I not? Here's evidence of that. Jared's a witness. He was there with me that day. It was fucking evil, which, like, Case kind of deserves it in a way for the childhood he gave me. But if you have any kind of grace or nobility, you do not do that, even to your enemies when they're death rattling. Like, it was so evil and so crass. This is why I can comfortably sit in a company with a Luciferian, because I was raised by one, babies. Including the spiritual abuse, putting a Ouija board in my hand at 5 years of age, expecting me to have a spiritually grounded and safe life. And then the sexual abuse started at 6. She set me up from a very young age as almost a human sacrifice to be a shaman, complete with the lineage, babies. So remember that when you come to fuck with me, why it's not a good idea. Remember that. Hold that in your synapsing little rotting brain capsule why you do not fuck with the Tanya. Because it's already happened quite enough by the time I was 6 years old. Motherfuckers. Fuck, that was horrible schadenfreude. And thank God for Jared, who supported me through that dark day in hell. Me having to defend my enemy against my own mother as he lay dying. Of course, the minute Case died, my mother became even more cruel and monstrous. Then 2 years later, she hooked up with Buck Shearer, as she had to have a man at any price, even at 70 years of age. She was nothing without a man. Actually, in real terms, she was a nothing. But I'm spawned by her, so it is what it is. Then she found another fucking sociopath and a paedophile who tried to entice my young children to stay overnight in their home, like hell, which interestingly I was telling Robin that story this evening. It's funny how that's come up in my memories of even date. There you go. Anyway, they're all dead now, and I can live out my life free of all of their cumulative bullshit. Yes, I can, and I will. And I'll keep dancing, and I'll keep telling my stories, I'll keep writing, and I'll keep making jewellery or any other art form that I feel attracted to in the space, any other creativity. And I'll keep being happy, and I'll keep being wild and untamable and uncompromising on certain issues until the day I fucking die. I have spoken. Mama T has spoken. Latanya has spoken. Or rather, that has been my plan for the past 6 years since the will dispute ended, living my life in freedom. Amen, sister. High five on that one. You fabulous woman, you. You fabulous, formidable, wild, free woman that ordinary mortal men slink away and crawl away from because they're not human enough. They're not capable. It's not their fault, actually. It's not their fault. They've had normal, ordinary, wonderful lives. This year has been kinder to me. Apart from chronic poor health, I feel like life might finally blossom out for me. Probably a sanguine delusion on my part, But what else can I do after barely surviving paedophiles in my childhood, a narcopathic mother? Narcopath is a narcissist and a sociopath combined. A narcissist sister, oh God, the train wrecks of horror that just kept slamming me endlessly. Just why I've got a very fine hair trigger for bullshit now. Because I've been derailed on that train wreck many times. I'm a bit loose in the caboose, babies, but we keep chewing and moving forward intrepidly over and over again, even falling in love again when I know it is a dangerous thing for me to do, given what I know about human mortals. I can't do this life anymore, I wrote, but here I am doing it. Ha ha. The cosmic trickster joke of a god keeps on whipping my psyche into line. He certainly does, my God, my trickster God. He's powerful beyond all measure. Sometimes I wonder if he's God at all, maybe the other side of the force. I guess I'll find out one day when that energy finally lets me die in this incarnation. Hopefully not tonight, babies. Got a little bit more living to do yet, but it is what it is. I just wanted one thing from life. Okay, two things. Safety and true love. Silly woman. Asked too much. But thank you, Australian government, for my little house on the hill and my government pension. Safety, bare essentials, check. Love could happen, but I don't believe in it anymore. Look at what my mother's desperation for cock and an expanded bank balance to come with it brought her. The Alzheimer's ward, slowly decomposing in her own brain cells. The cock supreme. Not much to crow about, babies. I'm trying not to laugh as it was such karma, and that makes me vulnerable to history repeating. But I don't chase cock or powerful men with lugubrious bank balances, as I know that castles in the air are devoid of sanctity and security, and I have seen the final outcome of all of that. Getting older, sicker, frailer, alone. That is my current fate. But all things are subject to change without further notice. I shall expect the unexpected, and vex not over superficial, false friends, lovers, former family, who all just wanted to ride or writhe on the Tanya. Well, they can just fuck off back to their original sources. Winky face. Indeed. The Tanya will be tribal dancing tomorrow night in full flight. 13th of September 2017. I've thrown out so much more paperwork, only kept legal stuff, divorce, will dispute, for historical purposes as proof of how I was shafted by the system, lawyers and former biological family members. Very distressing to go through it, so I ended up just putting it back on the shelf. But I culled all the extra stuff and stuff I had in my filing cabinet as well. It feels good to purge the house of cluttered up crap, and it took me till 2020 to finally burn the will dispute and the divorce paperwork. That's how difficult it was for me to release all that evidence of all the evil shit they'd done to me. And then I thought, I don't need to live in that. I don't need to wallow in that shit, have it seeping down the walls of my own house. Let it go, let it go. bing, bang, boom. Let it go, am I right? So I burnt a lot of it. Some of it ended up in the worm farm, so it became the circle of life, and on we went. I went out in the spring overheat to buy a few groceries. Had to rush home as became unwell. Not cool, but oh well, such is life. I will rest in the garden under the umbrella with a nice cup of tea and try not to cry over my wasted existence. Bobo was thrilled I came back home so quickly and loves his bones that I bought for him. Oh. 3 years later, it was masks and experimental penetrations in a syringe. Ridiculous. Shared this meme on 2017. It's a combat veteran from World War II and his grandson sitting side by side on the couch. The old guy says, "When I was your age, I defeated the Nazis in Holland." And the grandson replies, "On Xbox or PlayStation?" It's pretty true. This is our modern generation. Dear goddess. Dear fucking goddess. I call it the piss weak generation. You know, like my lovely young man, I regaled you the story earlier, dancing with this old lady to TNT was too much for him. It was too intense for him. A young man who should be full of vigour and vitality and vivaciousness and va-va-va-vom was intimidated by an old lady hamming up to a song. Astonishing. Utterly astonishing. Anyway, 4:38 a.m. Penny is acting out under my bed, so I got woken up and had to put her outside. Penny was one of my cats. Grabbed a glass of water for myself. Back in bed. Used opportunity of early morning wake-up call by indomitable, insane puss to have a pee, put Vaseline on my skin cancer wounds, which are itchy and scabby. They were itchy this morning too. I don't know why that is. Had epiphanies prompted by going through cards and old paperwork. 2000 to 2001, worst years of my life. So much heartbreak, but I fought back hard. Escaped my mother and Buck Shearer. I took David Davidson to the Health Rights Commission after several years of emotional abuse. Then I was badly affected by September 11 in 2001, so I moved away from Logan Lee. 2005, another cruel year, abuse and slander by Buck, ably supported by systemic abuse, fake DVO, etc. That was evil what they did to me. My own fucking government. Evil, dirty bastards. I met Courtney in October of 2005. I think it was the 20th of October, but I can't exactly remember now. It doesn't matter. It's ancient history. 2007, major surgery, which also happened on the 30th of October. 2008, year of miracles and karmic resolutions. Gila exposed herself on national TV. Buck died. My mother Granny dumped in a home by her con artist stepchildren. I stepped up to the mark and started visiting her, wanting closure and reintegration of my psyche. The public trustee gave me her chattels for safekeeping in December 2008. So that was a very, very astonishingly, disturbingly cathartic year from about July onwards. It's mind-blowingly cathartic. 2010, my mother's death, then the stressful, ugly wool dispute, end of relationship with Courtney, grieving. 2011, wool dispute, so horrible that I was frequently suicidal. Yes, I was. Even in birthday cards, several friends and a half-sister allude to it being a horrible year. They seemed greatly worried about me. Not worried enough, though, to step up to the mark, am I right? That bloodless coward, my half-sister. 2012, more ongoing stress with the will dispute. A death threat in my social circle. Half-sister betrays me, so I cut ties to her permanently. I receive my small inheritance. I start to reclaim my life after complete disarray by going dancing. 2014, I fall in love with another shadow man. Happy distraction from my constant suffering for a while, but ultimately it brings more suffering, cheating, false love, betrayals. Not that we were ever in a committed relationship, but thank God we weren't. He had this fetish for shoving women in my face constantly. Every venue we went to, he'd do it. And they'd get up right up in my face, be like, can you get out of my face? You're not my friend, and your man's not my friend. I want nothing to do with you. But it was constant. It was really perverted what he did. Really evil and perverted. 2015. Royal Commission into Institutional Responses brings me to full-blown advocacy for myself and other survivors. Unable to get justice personally, but forces me to confront the fact that I was stymied in life by great evil and perverts since very early childhood. So nothing new under the sun, am I right? Anyway, Papa Legbar's got that one under control since I had to call in the big top wazzers. It's pretty bad when you've got to call upon ancient voodoo gods because someone's so evil and malevolent they won't leave you alone, even driving around the streets of Brisbane. It's mind-blowing when you think about it. Don't think about it too long though, because you'll start freaking the fuck out and you'll need therapy and drugs. Why don't I need therapy and drugs? Well, I'll remain in therapy for the rest of my life, darlings, but why don't I need drugs? Because I've already worked through that evil bullshit since early infancy. This is why I can't abide piss-weak people with malevolent intentions who don't even have the courage of their convictions. It makes me vomit. Actual suicide attempt after pernicious bullying online and in my social circles and from former religious community members. Absolute horror, but was supported once again by a few honourable people. Ironically, one of the honourable people that supported me, I won't name names, was the same one that scoped me at a community function as if I was some kind of criminal or neo-Nazi or threat. Isn't that weird? My angels can be found in very strange spaces and in very high and lowly places, and sometimes it can be the very same person that was the most damaging that sees the error of their ways and starts trying to skedaddle and backslide and correct some of their wrongs against me. Just saying. That, my friends, is the most sometimes disturbingly humbling and surprising things of all, when even your enemies realise the error of their ways. This was a top 10 of my worst years of my life. I barely survived it. 2015. It's a very fucking bad year. very, very bad. But not the only one. So on we go, upwards and onwards, rising on our tippy toes. Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh. Holy, holy, holy are the angels. 2016, rebuilding from an emotional ground zero. I go off my meds in May, get a full haunting, etc. in June from a dead ex-lover, health, teeth issues, spend the summer of 2016 and 2017 in extreme agony because the dentists at the QE2 were just negligent, just incompetent and negligent. 2017, more rebuilding, health issues, teeth, 1 year since September 2016. Now skin cancer. More emotionally grounded, but still struggling to integrate my life, grief and loss in relationships. Finally realising it was always going to be hopeless, and I have done extremely well to survive these people. High five on that one, Tanya Aarons. Boom, bam, boom. Am I right? By the gods, I've done well to survive those people. After reading the health rights complaint in 2001, I realise I'm a beautiful, fierce, righteous warrior, and I'm amazed I survived that year at all. If not for my children and a few close friends, I would have died that year in 2001. Mind blown, heart crazy, strong, determined, courageous, spirit broken and rebuilt like a cracked egg, soul intact but confused, but still preciously guarded and belongs to Hashem, trickster God, Almighty. God doesn't like, I just had a flip in my stomach because he doesn't like me calling him a trickster God. But the path he put me on, there's no other word to describe it but than a trickster God, teasing me with false lovers and dangerous satanic parents, and on it goes and on it, and the pedophiles, and on it goes and on it goes. What kind of God does that to a sweet little girl like I was as a little infant? Shameful it was. Shabbat Shalom, God. I still believe in you, even though you never believed in me. Or did he, since I'm still alive against all the odds? Astonishing. Here I write, almighty, but loyal to the Tanya for some inexplicable reason. Body, toned from dancing, free of psych meds and gastro meds. Oh my God, they were intense. Going off those was like going off heroin. The gastro stopped. I wondered, not that I've ever been on heroin, but I know what it's like to detox from heroin because I was friends with a heroin addict. I had to go and see her actually. I said, Lucy, I said, I've just come off 15 years of gastro stop from my bowels. And I said, it's got only 2% morphine in it. What, she says? I said, I'm having like all the withdrawals that a heroin addict has. She said, I'm not surprised, 15 years of 2% morphine. She said, that's a lot of morphine, Tanya, over the years. Your gut's gone into shock. And it did. It went into complete fucking shock. I've never taken a gastro stop since. If you've got diarrhea problems or issues, take some slippery elm. It's natural and binds you up, babies. Don't take any poisons. All the poisons you take will blow out some other organ somewhere else in your body. Try to remember that. I mean, of course, if you're in severe agony or in hospital with having an operation, you need all the drugs you can get, but don't ever become dependent on any of it. It will destroy you. Very grateful that I never ended up on hard drugs. Just saying. Here I continue writing. Skin breaking down, cancer. Teeth still not right, nerve pain. Bladder losing tone again after major surgery 10 years ago, which is terrifying. Class actions against TVT tape mesh. Apparently my bladder's reasonably quite healthy, my urologist said, but she doesn't understand why I had all these issues with having to pee all night. But, you know, I have a constant irritation with the TVT mesh, which she's in denial about because she's installed it in many women's bodies herself, which she takes pride in because she's a urologist. But, you know, they're all brainwashed by Big Pharma, what can I say? She's a very kind woman. She's been very kind to me. But still, because the truth remains the truth. Don't do that to women. Don't damage us. Don't damage us in the name of Big Pharma. I continue writing. Vision poor, emotions heartbroken, eating healthier, thinking clearer, but stymied by ongoing depression, PTSD, and suicidal ideation. Well, not so suicidal ideated anymore. I was a bit depressed during the week, and my complex PTSD isn't ever going to go away, people of Earth. This is as good as I'll ever be. So whoever wants to be a partner to me, this is what I bring to the table. And that's why no one wants me, but I've done nothing to be ashamed of except survive my life and be intrepid and brave and live my best life. Much beloved by my pets and a few true friends, which is my greatest blessing in life. Watching a few leave my life is painful, but of course inevitable. Eagerly awaiting one of my daughters' return to Australia in December. Surviving my hoard of legal documents quite well, blah, blah, blah. Bring me wine and chocolate. I showed you that photo. That was the cover photo. So you don't need to see that again. 13th of September 2016. Dentist done. One more appointment next month. Aldi done. Hungry Jacks inhaled. Time to head home, unpack a few groceries and rest. Jesus, it's already 9:15 and I've still got to put on makeup and go dancing, people of Earth, and I haven't had a rest. I was going to have a rest before I went dancing. Oh my God, I'm going to be wild tonight. I'm going to be super wild because I'm on adrenaline now. I fell over on my driveway while taking groceries out of the boot. Backwards, landed on my ass, but have slightly sprained my foot. Ridiculous. So a nice cup of tea and back to bed I go. Fuck it. Just thinking maybe I should stay home tonight. Ramjet are playing and I like Ramjet. I'll think about it when I get off my laptop and finish this mission here. 13th of September 2015. I put a full stop or a period. Black dot to support people needing help with domestic violence. Semicolon for suicide prevention. 3 dots or an ellipse for life goes on. Exclamation mark for fuck that shit. Question mark for dazed and confused. And so it still goes. My face shows so many punctuation marks, I might not bother with the semicolon tattoo. All you need to do is read my wrinkles, my expression, and look into my eyes. The eyes never lie. Sherry. They were doing tattoos here of that sign. Me. Yeah, I painted one on the previous weekend with eyeliner. I really like it. Instead of the tear that convicted killers put under the eye, I was tempted to make it permanent, but by Saturday night I was over it. Don't really want to advertise myself everywhere I go as a suicide survivor with a semicolon under one eye. It was kind of the mood I was in. It was like a kind of a fuck you moment, you know. Mama T has fuck you moments that can last for weeks sometimes. It's awesome when I'm like that. I don't want to be mistaken for a whiny borderline when my suicide attempts are usually triggered by trauma. As it was, the hospital mismanaged me. My doctor is writing a formal complaint to the PA Hospital and Queensland Health. But a semicolon is a really beautiful symbol statement for a life interrupted. Yes, it is, baby girls. And in memory of all of those humans who didn't get vomited back by the gods to be tortured for another 9 years or so, and didn't make it and crossed over and hopefully have found rest and peace with the ever-loving arms of the Ein Sof Or, which they deserve if they committed suicide, instead of those punishing Judeo-Christian versions and punishing the suicides. As if they haven't suffered enough in their lives, they get cast down to hell by people who wish them, instead of love, light, truth and safety, more hellscapes. It's evil. Those religions that promote that are the most profoundly evil, including the shamans that say that suicides are cast to hell. What the actual fuck? Don't you think some people have been tortured enough for several incarnations? Eventually, you have to bow out, otherwise, enough is enough. Enough is enough is enough. Anyway, Mama T's here in this body against her own will sometimes. Because the gods or my Holy One, my trickster God, would simply not allow me to get out of this life with the vain promise or the vague promise or the bullshit promise that my true love will come to me and I have a beautiful life. Am I right? I hope that's not another deception and a lie and a betrayal. I really do hope, because I've been waiting for it a long, long, long time. Here I write, New Year, New Focus. Lashana Tova Tekatevu Mitucha. May you be inscribed in the book of life for a good and sweet year. It's not till next month, but, you know, this was the time, and back in 2000, and where were we? 2015. The new year has begun. I even lit my candles. I pray for a year of healing, peace, prosperity, love. So much love, we are blessed, but not so much we are smothered, lol. I pray for natural justice, for makom, finding God in strange places as I do on my nights out, for abundance, for happiness, for comfort with my true loves, my beautiful friends, and my garden full of animals. Fuck it, I'm not going to bother putting on makeup. They can see my face. I don't know, I feel weird not wearing makeup though. I pray that someday my daughters will appreciate and love me in spite of the hellish life we shared. That they stop blaming and hating me for having mental health issues. Trauma has cost me my life, my own precious children, very likely my grandchildren. Yes, it has. It's cost me a loving partner as well. So I dance and watch the world in its various stages of decline and pray for a better world where everyone is safe and loved with full bellies and even fuller hearts and minds, full of goodness, fairness, dignity, integrity and strength to fight for one another, to also have goodly lives. I am alone, but not alone in this fight for freedom from oppression, suppression, and depression. Each day the world begins anew. This is the turning of not just a new day, but a new year. Please God, it is a better one for all. September 13th, 2014. I am home in my cave, sleeping, healing, processing. It's been a heavy few weeks. I'm glad I had a nice time out last night. Pardon me. My health is not great, but rest will do me good. King Socks. Oh, he was an angel face. I miss that cat. I miss my boy. My beautiful boy. Queen Sophie of Holland Park Forest in her natural habitat didn't even sleep with me last night. She's in the spare bed. My little baby girl. I miss her too. She was the most insane cat I have ever been owned by. She was quite bonkers, but I miss her, even with her calico cat insanity. 3:55 a.m. home. That's odd because I feel sure I read that yesterday. Or did I? No, I think I copied and pasted it. All right, here we go. Home in a hot bath after a great night out dancing with Transvaal Diamond Syndicate at Lefty's, then later at the pub. Then after that I hung out with George for a couple of hours. I invested a lot of time into George and my friend Katrina, who was a homeless lady. You know, I was a true friend to them. I really was, by the gods. Karen and I had a lovely time. I ran into Steph outside the casino and teased him about ignoring me. He invited us back to the pub with him, danced to 2 songs, then left. I can't work that man out. Seriously. He's more avoidant than me, and that is saying something. Still, it was nice to catch up and hang out, even for a short while. Not that I was in love with him or anything, but anyway, there was a potential there at one point, but he was too bonkers. It's just too bonkers. I got home to discover I've lost my new mass glasses. The screw broke in them the other day and I had them sellotaped up. So losing them completely is going to be such a fuck up, as to get another pair will be like impossible, as they only give them to you every 2 years. I can't possibly go another 2 years with bad glasses, so I guess I will have to put a pair on lay-by and slowly pay them off, which I think I ended up doing. I'm so annoyed and upset with myself, as even though they were poor quality, they were a new prescription, and it was nice to be able to watch TV again and see the finer details. I'll ring around tomorrow in the hope that someone handed them in. They didn't. 13th of September 2012. I now have my new car. I'm so in love with it. Crazy to feel such intense feelings for a machine, but she's a beauty. She also represents my new life of freewheeling, adventure and happiness. Bliss out. My new mattress arrived yesterday and it was like sleeping on cloud 9. Just delightful. By the gods, I deserved that new mattress. I really did. Pity I was tortured for 2.5 years to get it, but, you know, eventually good things come to those who wait. Am I right? By the gods. And my tea. and my bed and my car. 13th of September 2011. I slept until 2 p.m, then had a visit from Gail, then spent the late afternoon and early night, you guessed it, still reading out the bindies, and graduated to the dandelions as well, because I could see them in the dark, or more accurately, the little shadowy patches they show up as in the dark. I was enjoying the full moon and the music on my MP3 player and came inside when it got colder and I got tired. 13th of September 2010. Court tomorrow, so a tad nervous, but I know my lawyer will make sure the ugly, salacious stuff gets retracted. Woohoo! I'm not looking forward to clapping eyes on that evil, snivelling, money-grubbing bitch, Shara, but on the upside, she's guaranteed to make another huge fool of herself, so that will be at least some small recompense for the hell she's put me through. Still very wheezy and chesty, but had a spurt of energy for 2 days. Yesterday, I steam cleaned the velvet drapes I brought home from Mum's 2 years ago with a new steamer Courtney bought for me. That was nice of Courtney. Today I water pressured the front pathways to clean the mould and lichen and other slippery stuff off the concrete. I need to do that again actually. It's going to be a big fucking job, but I don't have a gurney. Heaps more to do, so we'll have to pace myself. Lol. And thus concludes today's readings of Even Date. Copyright Tanya Desiree Aarons. And it's now 9:28 p.m. I've got just enough time to slap on some makeup and drive out to the Brooklyn Standard for my usual Friday night shindig. Not digging in the shins, but dancing wildly until I drop from exhaustion. So, bye for now, my beautiful ones. Blessed be. Shabbat Shalom. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'm sure I'll be back tomorrow for tomorrow's video. I had a good look through my, when I started these journal entries, reading from my journals, and it was the 5th and 6th of October. So, yeah, 3 more weeks of these to go, and I can then move on from this wallowing in past memories, some good, some bad, some indifferent, some outrageously awful, and present to you some different kinds of readings, which I'm not sure what they will be. Hopefully, wonderful stories about my new and fabulous life with my new and fabulous man, am I right? Oh, keep dreaming, psychedelic dreamer. But I'm thinking I might read, you know, as I have been doing from time to time, like we just had the reading of The Last Unicorn, I might read from other magical fairy story, fantasy type stories to you, and continue on with that pathway. And in between, intersperse with my own memories and experiences as they arise in the course of relating to those stories, perhaps, is what seemed to happen with the last one, including magical incantations and casting out demons, am I right? Well, you know, it helps to be a little bit bonkers, people of Earth, but there's a method in my madness, and remember, as always, never ever fuck with the Tanya. I'm not as crazy or unstable or fragile as people mistake me to be, and if I call on the gods and the angels and the ancestors that love us, I'm coming in with a lot of energy that is not even mine, and can make for a formidable foe, just saying. And I choose not to live in a constant state of war and putrescence. I'm wanting my beautiful life. So let's all work towards that by playing nice, people of Earth. And on that note, I send love out to you, me, us, mere mortals on this little blue marble planet. I send love out to the multiverses, to the Ein Sof Or, all the way back down through all the Sephiroth to Malkut, where my big hobbit footsies stand, and I rejoice in the cosmic light and bliss that is our divine right, ordained by God in all manifestations. Amen. V'Salah. Bye for now. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Goddess bless.